Well, this is the location and scene of today's little video. This is another attempt, the third I believe, of trying to find Nottinghamshire and one of the UK's rarest spiders. It's only known from here, and from what I can determine, my records that I had here in 2019 are the last, and it's not been recorded since. The species is Thanatus formicinus, which is sometimes commonly given the name of the diamond-back spider or something like that, which is enough to frighten anybody. But it lives under heather. Now it's mid-February, but it's mild, so I do expect a lot of spiders to be quite active. But in order to find it, I have to go on there and lift stand after stand of heather and then gawp at what runs about underneath it. The last two times there's been everything but Thanatus formicinus, so I'm hoping it's a case of third time lucky. We're mid-February now, and a couple of missel thrushes starting to sing over on the left, and I've heard song thrush singing on my way here. This is the south lawns at Clumber Park. The lake and the chapel are in the distance there, where those conifers are poking out through the tops of a variety of deciduous trees. This is the site a few years ago of a rediscovery of a spider thought for 50 odd years to be extinct in the UK, the spider being Thanatus formicinus. It was rediscovered here in 2017 after previously never been recorded in Nottinghamshire or throughout much of the UK. Thanatus formicinus has always been an extremely rare beast. Historically, it was known from Brockenhurst in South Hampshire, and then Leggs Heath and Duddleswell, both in East Sussex. The last time it was seen at any of those sites was in the 1960s, if I can remember right. So for it to suddenly turn up at Clumber Park in this area of heathland in 2017 was a remarkable feather in the cap for the National Trust, which own and maintain this property. Now, after its discovery here in 2017, I came to look for it in 2019 and found two immature specimens. Last year, I came and looked for it on 2 occasions and failed to find it. Today is another one of those occasions. It could be anywhere in here, but I'm worried that it might have declined. And I'm not entirely happy that the area where I did find those 2 specimens back in 2019 has undergone even further sort of management, and that's removed a lot, if not all, of the small birches that you can see in this picture. Also cut down a lot of the stands of heather. Admittedly, the heather wasn't in the best of quality, but I would have expected a bit more care and attention given to that small area of this part of the South Lawns, especially in view of it having the UK's only colony of Thanatus formicinus. Now, the method I use to look for Thanatus formicinus is to find a decent stand of heather, preferably quite isolated, and then where I can lift that heather up and back and hold it back, and then it's a case of looking for movement. There are a number of spiders active. There's a lot of juvenile Psara mirabilis, which is the nursery web spider, one of which is just here. Now, from what I remember, Thanatus formicinus. It's not going to be large, whichever if I do find one, and it is looking doubtful. Just looking for movement. There's quite a lot of spiders here. Well, I have a Thanatus, but it's not the one. Now the Thanatus that I have, unfortunately, isn't Thanatus formicinus. But of the 3 species of Thanatus known from the UK, only 2 are native, and this is the other one. This is Thanatus striatus, which is an attractive little spider. And I'll post a photo or a couple of photos in so you know what I've got in here. It's not large, it's not full grown yet, but even when full grown, not particularly large spiders. Now the other Thanatus that sometimes get in the UK, and I have had it once, is Thanatus vulgaris, and that's a non-native species and will occasionally turn up in punnets of crickets used as a food supply for the exotic pet trade. I'll put a photo in of that as well, because that is a larger spider. So the search for this elusive Thanatus formicinus continues. I will have no knees left whatsoever after all this. It's the perfect conditions for it. We've actually had some rain overnight, and I've seen a puddle for the first time in what seems like months. That's the area that I'm going to try. I have had a look around this part of the South Lawns, but it was at the back there, just at the back of the trees behind me. That's the area where most of the records came from in 2017, and certainly the 2 records I had in 2019. I think that's the place to try. That's the place where I tried on 2 previous visits, which you might have seen the videos I did of on this channel some time ago. So we'll give it a go and see if we can make it 3rd time lucky. Well, this is the exact area where I found 2 specimens of Thanatus formicinus back in 2019, and I've not seen it since. And if I can find the videos to insert here, or clips of videos to insert, and photographs of the habitat at the time, and you compare that to what you can see in front of you now, you'll see that this habitat has pretty much been decimated. What heather there was is largely gone now. It's been ripped up, this has been cut, it's been grazed in the past. This isn't conservation of a rare species to me. You think they would go overboard. They made enough fuss about it when it was found, and now look at the habitat that it was found in. This is what always narks me, and why I keep getting on and having a go at the conservation organisations, because had it been a rare bat, they wouldn't have touched a leaf. They wouldn't have dared to have touched a leaf, because it's an invertebrate. It doesn't matter. I can't understand it. I know they'll say we can't micromanage, but for goodness sake, you've got something that's only found in this one part of the whole country that we know of, this one little area of heathland, and now look at it. Well, searching for another couple of hours has failed to reveal Thanatus formicinus yet again. I'm getting worried about Thanatus formicinus and its status here at Clumber and in the UK, but maybe I'm worrying needlessly. I need to cover this area, I think, a lot more. This is an area that I haven't totally covered a great deal in the past searches, and so I think in a few weeks' time I'll come back again. This probably represents some of the best habitat for it here now, but we'll have to see. These things come and go. Maybe when it was found in 2017, formicinus was having a good year. If that's the case, then subsequent years have been incredibly poor. Although I must admit, when I found it in 2019, it was fairly easy to find. I think I'd found it well within an hour of beginning my search, but the habitat has deteriorated here, and that gives me my cause for concern for Thanatus formicinus here in Nottinghamshire. But if at first you don't succeed, you come back a second, third, and at some time a fourth time.